Select stage. Story mode. Ready? Go!
These are all new custom levels made by White's SMB, who you may know behind as the person who's making Rolled Out, which you may have heard of. So this is not actually the ROM hack most people think of. A lot of times people think of Monkey Ball 1, and if they've played that, they might see these levels and kind of be confused. Like these weren't the ones that they played, if they played through the ROM hack. So this is a little bit more of like a deluxe version of that hack, I suppose, or a definitive edition. As in, a lot of the bad stages that were in Monkey Ball 1 are removed, but a lot of the good stages are... Oops, that was kind of lame. A lot of the good stages came back, and a lot of the bad stages were removed or revised. So that stage, Gentle Path, that I just played, that's an alternate version of a stage called Swervy from Monkey Ball 1. Alright, so even though we're in World 1, it still doesn't mean all the strats are easy. The next stage, Brushstroke, has a tough skip that saves quite a bit of time. Let's see if I can get this. Okay. Didn't get the full strat, but I still, like, saved a pretty big amount of time. That was, like, 2 seconds slower than the normal strat. Alright, and just like in the previous run, I'm going to be doing load manipulations in some of the worlds. So even though this is a ROM hack, I'm playing it on my Wii, and the load speeds are much faster than they would usually be. Because, you know, it doesn't have to, like, read off of a disc or anything. So, a lot of times you don't have to worry about manipulating loads, but in some worlds in this ROM hack, the last stages are especially fast. So, the next world doesn't load in time. So, so you want to make sure you're playing a kind of a long stage last, or at least not a really short stage last, because the cutscene... Let's go to the next world, back to the goal. The cutscene loads while you're playing the last stage, so if you're playing a really short stage, it doesn't have time to fully load. So you can just like do the stages a little out of order just to make sure you get a favorable load. Got some relatively simple stages coming up. None of these are super tough, but the stage coming up, Broken Ladder, I have a chance of tying the TAS on, so that would be kind of awesome. If I get, if I finish the stage and have a 57.06 on the clock, then I tie the TAS. We'll see how I do there coming up. One frame off. 0.05 is the frame behind 0.06. Okay. Really, the only thing left in World 2 that's a little tricky is mouse holes. You have to do some pretty tricky movement through these moving holes here, and you can lose quite a bit of time if you bonk on these walls and have to readjust. Oh, that's... okay, I didn't lose that much time. That was like 2 seconds. Okay. Next stage, Polar Wall. There's some really interesting movement you can do around here to make an early cycle at the end. Let's see if I can get that. While I'm on the way there, I guess it would be nice to say that on this stage... Nice, I got the early cycle. On that stage, there's a challenge mode variant. So, you know, in Monkey Ball, there's story mode and challenge mode. And I'm playing through story mode right now. On the challenge mode variant of that stage, you can get pressed by one of the walls to go through the right side and go straight to the goal. But for some reason that just doesn't work in the story mode version. I'm not exactly sure why. Because, I mean, in theory it would be the same, like, collision and everything. I don't understand. Alright, on to World 3. Which actually reminds me, so when this hack came out, there was not a way to have music continue from one stage to the next stage. In story mode, so you know the music it's restarting each stage, and that wasn't happening in the previous run. I intended to get like a patch for this or something, so that you actually would be able to enjoy the nice music picks. Oh, that was a weird flick. The nice music selections bytes picked out for this hack, but I kind of didn't really do that, so sorry guys. Hopefully you're still enjoying the run. This next stage, Dipped Path, has a really finicky bump over this part here. Nice, I got it. I found a much better setup for that really recently, so I used to lose runs to that all the time, but we're doing a lot better now. Also, that stage, Bookworm, it looks really impressive, but it's actually not that hard to do, because in this game, you've probably already heard in the last run about how the physics are completely deterministic, so if you do the same thing every time, the same thing will happen. So if you hold upright right at the start of the stage, and you keep holding upright until you get hit by the page, you'll always get a really favorable bounce that you can know exactly how to react to. So even though that looks super impressive, it's actually one of the easiest stages in the run. Hopefully that wasn't a first frame. Hopefully I won't have to end up explaining what a first frame is, but, you know, it happens. I mean, it didn't happen that time, but, you know. It could happen. That would be kind of bad. No major skips on this stage. Just try to optimize the movement. Didn't get a 48, which is unfortunate. You want to get a 48 on that stage. That's how you know that you got good movement. Oh my god, I got hit by the post. Let's go back to the goal again. That sounds like fun. Alright, World 4. What's going on World 4? Oh, okay, yeah, this stage. I have a chance of... Oh no! No, I almost got it! Okay. You're supposed to go back through these wormholes here and go up those slopes to pick up more speed. But if you get really good bounces on the way there, you can actually skip needing to go in the wormholes, which saves a pretty, you know, nice chunk of time. And that stage also demonstrates something important about the monkey ball physics, in that when you're off the ground, you'll pick up more speed because you've rolling friction on the ground. So if you try to accelerate a lot on the ground, you'll a lot of times get stopped, or not stopped. You won't be able to pick up as much speed as you would in the air because of rolling friction. But because of those bumps, you can pick up a lot of speed and have a lot of fun, because who doesn't like going fast? Like if you ever play the vanilla game and you know the stage Charge, then... And, you know, if you play it, a lot of times you have a hard time picking up speed on that stage because there aren't really any bumps, you're just rolling on the ground, except for that one bump at the end of the pads. So that stage is a lot more satisfying to play than Charge. What you'll basically learn is that almost every rendition of the idea Charge goes for that people do in custom levels is done better than in Charge. I'm sorry, Charge. Speaking of levels that are kind of similar to other levels, we got this level reverse building, which is similar to the stage building, but we can fail. That's something we can do. But we can also just like fall straight down into the goal awesomely instead of climbing up. As awesome as climbing up the building is, it's kind of cooler to just jump down.
Ready?
It's a tricky strat here on Snake. Let's see if I get it. Nice. Was not expecting that, actually. That's kind of hard, at least for me. Seems like other people don't find it as hard as I do, or at least other people who ran Monkey Ball 1. Because not a lot of people really do ROM hack speedruns, so it's kind of unfortunate. Almost done with World 4, just got this final stage, Bubbles. There we go. Alright, World 5. One of the other worlds we do a load manip in. Funny enough, the worlds we do load manips in are exactly the same worlds that we do load manips in the ROM hack you just saw, the Deluxe Nesmi 2 hack. It also has some really cool strats as well. This is kind of neat, but it's not. I mean, it's a little run of the mill if you ask. My personal favorite strat in World 5 is coming up on stage 5-5. It's called pedaling. You'll see that pretty shortly. This is also a pretty awesome strat. Just get bumped by the ring. I guess generally, when it comes to strats and what's like worth it to go for and what's not, a good rule of thumb, at least for what I do, is you don't want to rely on. Actually, before I go to that, this is the stage pedaling I was talking about. So these buttons here, you're supposed to press them and cause this thing to like start doing this. Oh my god. You're supposed to have it do some sort of like biking motion where the platforms go in circles and the thing slowly moves along. I am failing the hell out of this. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just kind of focus. Okay, there we go. It's not that hard. And you're supposed to have it take you all the way along. If you hit the fast forward switch, you get there with like 30 seconds remaining. And if you hit the normal switch, you get there like right about when the timer's gonna expire. So that saves quite a bit of time to go for it. Even though I died twice, that still probably saved time. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so generally with strats, you want to try, well, you want to try to not fail them, but you want to try to not clip off to the edges of platforms like what I just did there, because they're not as reliable as hitting off of, like, just flat parts of them. Because in this game, the collision detection, it's a little weird. I guess the best way to explain it would be that the game checks for collision continuously for the center of the ball and only the center, and for all the edges of the ball, it only checks for collision on each frame. So basically, if you're running really fast at an edge and you get unlucky, then you basically just kind of like run over it and don't get popped up at all. But if you get good luck, then you can just kind of like go straight up in the air, not straight up in the air, usually you're going up and forward a bit, and it helps you do a lot of cool strats. So if I can avoid doing that whenever I can, that's awesome. Like, there's a lot of crazy stuff, like on this stage, 4D, it's like I'm jumping all the way down here, and I'm hopefully not gonna die. Oh, there we go. Like, that looks kind of cool, but it's really not that hard. There's probably a lot of strats that I could do that don't look as impressive as that, because they do some sort of, well, whoops, because they do some sort of clip. I don't know why that stage Galaxy is there. I mean, supposedly this is supposed to get rid of a lot of the bad stages that were in Monkey Ball 1, but for some reason that stage is still there. No one really likes that stage, I'm sorry. You saw drums in the previous run, now we're getting to percussive instruments. An incredibly awesome stage that is not drums. Just look at the name, it's percussive instruments. The ring bum, this is a tough strat. It's actually a really good example of a super awesome improvement from Monkey Ball 1 to 2. In the Monkey Ball 1 version, you had a lot of run-up there, so it was incredibly easy to cheese that stage. Like, a lot of times even casuals would just cheese the stage and not even know what, like, the point of it was. Like, usually you're supposed to wait for the parts to bump, or the parts you could bump off of to line up so you can bump to the next circle and kind of like time it in the standing in the middle of each circle. But you actually have to like try to cheese it this time, which is nice. Where do you go to do this? I'll post links so you can like go and download these hacks whenever after the run. So hopefully you're okay waiting around till then. That's a nice stage, Freestyler. That one's always really fun to do, even if the strat's quite easy compared to some of the other stuff. Alright, and skiless, I just died on. I also didn't mention warp goals. There's a lot of the green goals and blue goals and stuff. Oh my gosh. You can take either one in story mode, like it doesn't matter. You just want to take whichever one's faster. So I could just take the blue goal here, and it wouldn't like not skip a stage or anything, and taking the green goal wouldn't skip a stage. But you can do the green goal like a second faster, assuming you don't fail it. Like the blue goal's way easier on that stage, but I just kind of didn't. There's also a really tough strat here that saves like 4.5 seconds. I am not going to go for it because it's really hard. Yeah, let's kind of like move on with that and pretend like there wasn't a strat there. There's a nice little troll switch right there.
Is now a good time for a quick donation?
Sure, actually, just real quick.
We've got a $10 donation from Focus Site that says, "We support multilingualism." Good luck, everyone, and you're doing fantastic, Ike.
Awesome. Okay, this strat is pretty tough. It's probably one of the toughest in World 7. You can, like, bump across those, so you have to approach it in a really particular way. Nice first try. And you also kind of have to prepare for getting different sets of collision, because, whoops, I thought I retried. Because if you remember what I said earlier, whenever you clip off of stuff, that is what makes strats kind of unreliable. So, you know, in order to go, like, even remotely fast across the... Oh, wow, I died to that. In order to go even remotely fast across that middle section, you want to clip off of stuff, so you really have to be prepared for the different like types of collision you can get there. This is a really fun stage to optimize movement on. I'm kind of sad I died to it. Like, if you get a 46, especially a mid 46, that means you did really well. Kind of awesome. This is one of the hacks I've been actually kind of running on and off for a little while. And I've been seeing myself like gradually get better times on that stage, because it's harder to optimize something like that than a lot of the other stuff. So I used to like be like, oh my god, I got a 45 on that stage, and now I just did like a 1.5 seconds faster. It's really fun. I enjoy stuff like that. Nice. What's interesting about that stage, Velocity, is that there's two different versions. I mentioned there's a challenge mode variant of an earlier stage called Polar Wall. There's also a challenge mode variant of that stage, Velocity, but the platform you start on is much longer in the challenge mode version, so you take a completely different set of ramps to actually get to the end. So it kind of messes with me sometimes, like which set I have to take. That strat on funnel's really nice. Doing that stage normally is really bad. You have to like fall through these holes, and a lot of times you just drop onto like bumpers and you die. It's really stupid. In this stage, Forgotten Path, you can kind of just skip everything on it. There we go. World 8, okay. World 8 has, in my opinion, some of the toughest strats in the run. Well, like World 10, there's a handful of toughies there. Not this stage, this stage is easy. As I almost die to it, okay. That stage, Deconstruction, it's based on the vanilla stage Construction. It's much better than that stage, honestly. Deconstruction is just a giant, like, maze, or, sorry, Construction is just a giant maze, and there you just have to navigate through the holes. There's also a skip on Connections, but it only saves, like, a second, and then over really good movement, and it's really hard, so I don't go for it. That's probably a death, yep. You're supposed to go across these things one by one, and oh my goodness, I'm failing this. But instead you can just fling yourself all the way to the end, and it looks really cool if you don't fail it. Let's try to not fail. Okay, cool. So this stage, Menger apparently has a green goal, and I didn't know that until like last month. Oh, I died. You can kind of just like fall through the middle on this if you space it really well. Oh my goodness, party ball. Yeah, these are also like a lot of the stages start becoming pretty challenging here. Like that stage steering wheel, stopping on that like small outer ring gives a lot of people trouble when they play this casually. This skip is super awesome. You can kind of just weave through everything. Oh, or you can fall. Let's not do that this time. There we go. Shoutouts to the Triforce. Oh, sorry?
Is now a good time for a quick donation?
Yeah, real quick.
So, Zero the Latino sends us $10 and says, Trolley Joy Army?
Troll Joy Army, let's go, dude. Okay, after Bull Ride, the next two strats are really awesome looking in my opinion. Well, I mean, I think Bull Ride's pretty cool. I mean, except when you hit the goalpost, that's not very cool. First, we're doing the quick load minute, doing stage 10 first, because it's pretty short. So you're supposed to stop this cube at a good time to go in the goal, but you can kind of just like, well, oh, okay, you can still just go in while the thing's moving, saves a little bit of time. And this stage, you're supposed to go really slowly across all these like little platforms. You can do this instead and skip everything. It's really nice. I love that strat. Okay, World 9. In this world, every stage is based off of a stage in vanilla Monkey Ball. So this stage, for example, it's based off of the stage Rings or Expert 46 from Super Monkey Ball 1, the stage you just saw in the last run. Every other stage is based off of a stage from Monkey Ball 2. So this is double spiral, but it's one spiral. So it's nice because you can't just get like wrecked at the end by taking the wrong path. Nice. It's actually kind of hard to get in the gold there because of how that's spinning. A lot of these, if you played the vanilla game, you'd be able to tell what they're based off of. Well, what I should talk about is the next stage, Footworms. So there's a really, really stupid strat on this stage that you never actually go for in runs. It's pretty much luck if you get it or not, but it saves like 15 or so seconds. You're supposed to go along all of these individually and like eventually stop the last one, but if you kind of just get hit up by this and you get really lucky, like that, then you can just skip everything. Oh my god, I did not expect to get that first try. Holy moly, that is crazy. Like that is... Oh my... Okay, we're getting slammed. Like, I honestly was expecting to just kind of like fail that like 3 times, then eventually just do it normally. I was not expecting that. Holy moly.
Is it a good time for a quick donation?
Yeah, this stage really easy. You can go.
Alright, we have a $5 donation from I Have Newt, who donates the besto.
The besto. Let's go. This is interesting. Erratic maze. It's, I mean, better than dynamic maze, certainly, and also fell. Yeah, instead of the walls moving and just kind of like waiting on the walls, you can actually just go along the maze. Just nice. The stage is a lot better than dynamic maze. Oh, we're hitting the post. I should have gone on the back of the goal there. Okay, this stage coming up, Leaded Pipe. This is one of the toughest strats in the game, in my opinion. Saves 5, I think, seconds. Let's see if I get it first try. Oh no, I basically got it, and then I just kind of didn't. That's... I can still get it second try and be awesome. Basically break even. There we go. These last 2 stages are really long. No real big... Actually, you can do a big skip on the next stage, 13 bracelets. But not on this stage, you're kind of just climbing. And here, kind of got to inch out here. You really, like, just kind of can't do that part fast, unfortunately. Alright. Okay, 13 bracelets. This stage gives a lot of people trouble. This looks really similar to 8 bracelets, which a lot of people already talk about for being pretty hard. You know, it's a tough, like, air control, like, knowledge stage, but there's two major differences here, other than there being more bracelets, obviously. They're smoother, so you don't pick up as much speed, because you won't get off the ground as much. Remember, I said that if you're in the air, you'll pick up more speed. So, since these are smoother, you can not really go super far up the actual bracelets. I didn't split. Whoops. And also there are 2 forward transfers. Usually you only go 90 degrees away from where you are, but there you have to actually just go like basically 180 degrees. So those give a lot of people a lot of trouble when they play that stage. Okay, World 10, a lot more tough stages here. This one in particular, the ending can be really, well, the ending can be really finicky. I have to kind of get there first, alright? Got these tilting little paths here. Oh, let's not die. So the ending is, it's clips, it's not very hard clips, but if I miss it, I waste 25 seconds, so let's not miss it. I just missed it. That's unfortunate. Hope you want to see that again. Okay. Oh, okay. That collision that I got right there, it's really weird. I'm not actually 100% sure. Wow, I'm feeling this way more than I usually do. I'm not actually sure exactly why that happens. I think it's because you're hitting like an inside polygon of the collision or something, so you're getting sent in a really awkward direction. I'm not exactly sure. Like, it's weird. Basically, it's just Monkey Ball being Monkey Ball. Let's just please don't fail it again. Oh my god. Alright. Yeah, kind of getting troll-joyed there. Alright, Surgical, there's an early cycle I can make here that would be really awesome. Okay, there we go. Now just gotta not mess up this ending bit, which has these finicky little parts. Okay. Nice. Oh, dealing first frame. Okay, good. Alright, this is probably the toughest strat in the game. I don't expect to get this first try. I got it first try. Let's go, dude. Alright. Usually you're supposed to go across those like one by one and make sure movement is like exactly in sync with the other, like the flipping platforms. It's got some things here. I don't like those moves at all. I kind of wish that wasn't a stage. Alright, brackets. This is supposed to be an auto-scroller, but if you're really awesome, then you can kind of like skip a lot of it. Okay. Oh, I didn't actually get the full ending, or I just kind of died. Let's try that again. Oh, that's making it. Yeah, this is a really hard strat, but once again, even if I miss this a few times, it's like still better than doing it. Okay. Yeah, you can actually just bump straight to the end if you have one of 2 things happen to you. Neither of them happened, but that's still fine. If you get the full ending, then that's actually faster than normally there's a pause strat on that stage, and that stage is also in Monkey Ball 1, which, oh my gosh. Which I mentioned before. It's the one more people have played. And actually something I didn't even mention is you won't see me doing any pause strats. They're kind of lame and not really even useful at all, or useful very much in this run anyways. But even if I wanted to do them, the timer still moves while you're on the pause screen, so you can't really do them in the standard way. Oh my gosh. So there used to be a pause strat there in the Monkey Ball 1 version of that, and that strat I made, if you get it, is like a second or 2 seconds faster. I'm not exactly sure. There's kind of a stage here, but we just skip it if we don't miss it. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of failing, dude. I wish this skip wasn't here, honestly, because I really suck at this skip. And this stage is really fun to do fast, in my opinion, at least. So. Alright, there we go. Still probably faster than doing it normally. Okay, so something really interesting to bring up in this stage 3, and that I haven't mentioned at all, is that an interesting quirk about the way physics work in this game is that the closer the control stick is to neutral, the stronger gravity's acceleration will be. So, on this stage, I'm kind of like tapping forward and then back, so I have slightly less gravity when I do that than if I were to just kind of like hold the control stick in an almost neutral position, which will get you across the platforms. Also, there's this stage culmination, it's kind of like, big. Oh yeah, what was I saying? So on that stage, if I were to hold basically neutral, gravity would be strong enough for me to actually get ahead of the platform cycle, and then I wouldn't actually get enough height off the bounces in order to make it. Oh, I just died and lost 25 seconds. That's awesome. Kind of don't want to die on a long stage, you may imagine. I'm trying to get a really early cycle that's incredibly hard to do on this stage. Usually you finish with 10 seconds left, but if you get an early cycle, you can finish with 20. A 10-second skip is kind of awesome, but when you die more than 10 seconds into the stage going for it, it doesn't really work, you know, in your favor. Let's do the wire fast, and then let's catch that cycle. Oh my god, dude, I'm joking, man. Good thing I made that estimate pretty high.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, I'm just kind of like botching this. You can go ahead.
We have a $25 donation from Lovely Soft Snow that says, "Give Amber a funny hat." So thank you so much, Lovely Soft Snow.
Okay, I didn't get the fall off of that I wanted. I'm not gonna make the cycle, so I guess I'll just do the boring strat. Gets you a 10 instead of a 20. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, this cube at the end is really stupid. A lot of times you just get here and then you just have to like guess when to fall. It's just really maybe the worst obstacle you could put at the end of a stage like this. Oh my god, I just bonked off the post and died. There goes a minute. This is not going as planned. That's fine, this is really the only thing that's actually just gone horribly wrong this run. And I mean, I got the swag strat on footworm, so I basically just gained back 3 minutes from that alone, so that's kind of cool. It at least gives me a chance to show off the 20 strat. Let's just don't fail this, man. Come on. There we go. Let's not fail now. And time will be coming up if I don't choke. Time. Alright. That was kind of failure-itis on the last level, but at least I ended up showing off the strat, which is cool. Alright. Okay, so I guess now that I'm done, we should probably talk about where you could actually like play this if you wanted to. So there's a Discord you can join. Has all these different hacks in it. This one is a really great one for a lot of people just getting into hacks. Like it looks really nice. A lot of the stages are easier to understand. They don't go super insane with like crazy mechanics and stuff. And a lot of the hard stages are still pretty pretty approachable by newer players. Like I also really like another hack at Super Monkey Ball 651, but the end of that is just incredibly inaccessible. So I'm going to post a link to the Discord now. If you want to join, or if you want to download the hacks, then you can just join there and like, you can go, there's like all these different ROM hacks posted. Give me just a quick second. There we go. Okay, so you can join there. I guess if you want to like play the hacks, but then I don't know, like there's also another sheet that has them nicely sorted. Because a lot of times it's hard to tell like what the really awesome hacks are when you just see like the giant list of them. So there's a spreadsheet I'll post here. Let me find that real quick. That is the wrong channel. That is also the wrong channel. Let's see if third time's the charm. Yep, there it is. So there's also a link to this. So if you go to that spreadsheet, and you just want to like try out some hacks, it's nice to go to the featured pack section. Monkey Ball 2 Witty Subtitles, a really good start. That's like, I always recommend people to play that first. There's other stuff that's in the works as well. Like my brother's making a hack called Super Monkey Ball Gaiden, which will be awesome. And oh yeah, this little like intro sequence kind of breaks with the custom levels. It's kind of awesome. But and I know there's some other people working on hacks. It's really awesome sauce. You should join if you like Monkey Ball. I really don't have anything else to say. Do you guys have anything?
Just thanks so much for the run, Mr. Ike. Thank you so much for just all the Monkey Ball runs this block have been really fun. Stay tuned for more as we have a Super Smash Bros. Melee race coming up right after this.
That's awesome. See you guys.